And now I just need a signal from the back cave. Confirm signal from the YouTubes. And we are live. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of the Jedi Academy here on Reality Skewed Gamers. I'm your man with the plan, Ranger J 1999, welcoming you into the longest running Q&A show out there in TV land for Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, the mobile game brought to you by Capital Games. And this is a pretty simple format. What we like to do here on this show is that we like to bring content creators and the community together and get the answers to the questions that you've got buzzing around in your head out there. And so it's pretty simple. We get the guys and gals on that want to come on and can come on to the Jedi Academy, and then we interact with you guys in the chat, and we allow you to ask questions and try to answer as many as we can. Most of the times we do get through them, but it does behoove you to get your questions in sooner rather than later. And it works like this: if you have a question that you want to pose to anybody on the panel or just in general, all you need to do is put your question into the chat. We do ask that you follow the format of putting the word question in front of your actual question statement, mainly because I scoop up the questions. So if you have a question that you want to get answered, please follow that format, because as I said, I use Nightbot, and we use as a filtering tool, and we use the filtering word, and I keep it simple. It's just the word question in front of your actual question statement, and that'll allow me to identify it through the tool to make it easier to get through, because when you have a lot of people in the chat talking at once, it's hard to kind of scoop up questions any other way. So if you'd like, please do that. As I said, get your questions in sooner rather than later, and get your questions into that format. And for some whatever reasons, it's technology. If you ask a question and if I missed anything, you can let me know, but it's all good. Just put it in there again. And we'll get it squared away. So it's pretty simple. So good morning to everybody out there. Good evening, good afternoon, wherever it may be out there, for wherever you may be. Hope you're enjoying your weekend and that you're having a solid weekend, that it's not too cold or too hot, wherever it may be. Do me a favor, though, as you come in, hit that thumbs up and subscribe. Hitting the thumbs up helps get our content out there into the algorithm of the YouTubes, and subscribe and allows you to hit that notification bell and let you know when we're doing these awesome shows that we do. We do live stream a lot here on Reality Skewed Gamers, and if you could hit that subscribe, that would be most appreciated, as well as hitting the thumbs up. So there you go. So I can see the questions are coming in. People are giving their greetings. Say hi to everybody in the chat. Say hi to me. Say hi to my guest, Mr. Sandfly. He's the first one who came on today.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm
It is
doing
an
good,
honor
man.
to be here as ever. Busy week, exciting. Looking for lots of questions. Exciting.
Yeah, they're coming in. They are now coming in, and well, I mean, let's just talk about it, because I'm sure we'll get asked about it. The new ships, the way we have the Galactic chase going on right now. I think the drop rate's been pretty decent. Pretty much have mine. I'm 3 shards away from 3 stars, so I'll get that and probably 4 today easily, because I am using the crystal refreshes for Cantina. Now I'm farming it a certain way. Aldis, there's no wrong answer to this, but I just think that farming it in the signal data with the Omicrons and where the ship is at. Well, you get the ship from those two anyway, so you get a 3-for-1 deal on Canteen Energy right now for me. I know the drop rate's pretty significantly low for Omicrons, but I've had people tell me, of course, it would not be me, but other people are getting some Omicrons from it. So even if you get 1 or 2, that's a boon win for Omicrons. But I think getting the signal data is really nice at the same time that you're getting a ship. However, there's some people saying, "Look, that's cool, but I'm working on Starkiller, so I'm working on those characters that I need for Starkiller. So yeah, I'm not getting the signal data, or Omicrons, but I am getting the basically a character and a ship at the same time. So that works for them as well, so they can get their Starkiller farm done now. Where are you farming for the ship?
So I'm a day ahead of you, being European.
That's true. You are.
So
Stop it.
I am about 10 shards off 4-star. I love the Galactic Chase. I think the format. What I like about Galactic Chase is the ability to choose. You're farming the signal data or the relic stuff, which is great. I'm farming Darth Talon because
Sure.
she's just next to my Starkiller. but you know, the Galactic Chase is by far the cheapest way to get any new character. Ignoring the obviously the free bit you get for the marquee, but once you start moving after that, the Galactic Chase is by far the best. So it's something that when it comes round, it's great to invest in, terrible word. It's great to use or take advantage of. But yeah, so I'm doing Talon. The drop rates are okay. They're about comparable with Talon. And yeah, but yeah, I'm a little more excited with the second ship. I'm sure we'll talk more about the ships and later on. But yeah, so that's where I'm farming. I'm farming on Dark Talon, and yeah, I'm not as bothered with the Omicrons at the moment. I don't like the. I have to say, I don't like the drop rate on that node of the Omicrons. I wish they took it out of there and put it somewhere else as a guaranteed. I think it's too low for me, if I'm honest. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've had days where I've gotten tons of them, and I've had many days where I've gotten 0 of them. So, but you know, I was on the Hindy stream last night, and we were talking about, you know, the Omicrons is just like how the Zetas and Omegas were. You know, just you don't get a lot of them in the beginning, and then you know eventually then you'll have more than you know what to do with. So I mean, I've got so many Omegas and Zetas, and then it was like that at the beginning too, more Omegas than anything. The Zetas eventually started to catch up on, and we did have places in the store where we could get them. So this is a little bit different, but in the sense that how hard they are to get your hands on in the beginning is just the same as it was for those 2 items. And so
I do like. I think that's right. I like it when you have to make choices. I like it when everyone's roster goes in different directions because somebody chooses to go for these Omicrons and somebody else chooses to go for these. I think when we get to a situation where everyone can have every Omicron, I think it starts to lose its value. I like facing people in GAC where you look at the roster and it's different. You know, they've moved in different directions, and I think the Omicrons have been good at doing that. So good to see Embo getting one this week. But I just want to see them at least one a week, at least one character getting one a week, something new, something interesting. I think it's great. Some of them I'm sure will get better over time. Some of them will synergize better with others. But yeah, it's good. It's good.
Absolutely. I think we have someone else join us.
BCM?
It is the country Viking BCM joining us right there, boy.
Skull, y'all. How you doing this morning?
They're doing good. What's going on, partner?
Just waking up, getting the coffee.
Oh, God,
it's
yes.
7 a.m.
I
here.
know. Aldous is bright-eyed and bushy-tailed because it's like in the afternoon there for him. Me and BCM were like...
It's like Game of Thrones over here. I'm dragging butt.
Yeah. How's your farming going for you, BCM, for the new ships?
I've got 45 shards for the new ship.
Nice.
Unfortunately, I do not have Rose Tico unlocked. I only have 9 shards for her. But I don't have Radis, so I've been doing a little bit of, or I did a little bit of mix of signal data, and then I've been finishing off Kyle because he's there. So
yeah, makes sense to finish up the character, especially if we're pretty close for like Kyle Katarn, one of those characters, absolutely. And then signal data, he's
gonna finish off my Momo team, so I figured I'd get him up and running.
Absolutely, man. Get that signal data. Get that character. Get what you need, guys. There's no wrong answer. Whatever you need to farm, you farm. For me, I just think what works best for me is signal data. I need so much of it. We all need. What am I talking about? We all need the goddamn signal data at all times. It's ridiculous. So I'm like, okay, I don't need any characters right now. I might as well go for the gusto. Signal data, maybe some Omicrons. The Illuminati's not watching me. I have to be, but they're always watching me. And get the new ship. So I'll do some more today.
With them dropping the 3 Starkiller requirements on Cantina nodes and then dropping this in a Cantina mode, it's kind of nice. It's kind of, I think it's the first time I don't feel as I'm getting pulled in 2 different directions. If this had dropped on a ship node, it's quite nice because you're able to carry on with your Starkiller farm the characters for Starkiller are all
Yeah.
brilliant. So you're getting good value, whereas in the past, maybe sometimes you were also doing the other thing that's been great is I'm farming GMK's Ultimate, which is on light side, and they put Mara Jade on light, my Bad Batch is on light. So there's, you know, it's nice when the farms sort of come together like that. So I certainly think I take my hat off to CG specifically on the Cantina for putting the 3 on Cantina and then giving us a Cantina Galactic Chase rather than giving us a ship
Yeah.
chased.
Yeah.
It does worry me that they're trying to drain all our Cantina energy. And I think, Ranger, you make a very important point now about it's becoming harder to get the energy. You've got to then separately farm the relic energy as well. So, whereas in the past, I didn't really have that issue.
Well, it goes through ebb and flows. Yeah, I mean, so we can have this discussion again if you want to. I like a lot of the characters. The reason I like the characters mainly coming in Cantina is that Cantina is just a better farm, especially for free to play, than hard node farming.
Yeah, they just come a lot quicker.
They do.
I mean, regardless of drop rates, it's just Cantina's an easier farm, a quicker
faster.
farm. So yeah, you might be, you know, the double-edged sword is, yeah, you don't get signal data, but at the same time, you get the character in like a week or 2 versus
months
on a hard node, even with 3 refreshes.
Yeah, because, you know, and so I mean, I prefer that they do more cantinas. They just have to spread out signal data a little bit more instead of this 3 nodes where you get it, you know, other than events and stuff like that. And so not everybody can get the higher tier rewards from the events, you know, when they come, whether it be the rebels or, you know, it's like Secrets and Shadows is this weekend. I ain't getting past goddamn Sidious. Most of us ain't getting past Sidious, so I ain't getting that signal data and stuff that comes in there, you know, and I ain't even with Relic Night Sisters, most people can't beat that crap. So I'm like, why am I bothering? You know, so now the other ones I do, it's like, and it's nice. I just sim, it's extra signal data and other pieces. Yeah. So cool. But yeah, but it's still, it's still not enough.
At this point in the game, I think they could run one of those a day, like they did over the course of the holidays, right? They ran 1 assault battle a day.
Yeah.
And that would that could be maybe that's part of their gear, or round 2 or round 3 of the gear crunch, because if they did that, it would definitely ease up a little bit and allow people to move quicker.
I definitely like those, and I like the Galactic Challenges. So the more they give us, I'd rather they gave us more of those, to be honest, like you say, increase the frequency, because I think those are events that everyone can take part in at some level, no matter where you are in the game. They are sort of slightly level capped, and the fact is you do need to use Night Sisters for one. You do need to use Bounty Hunters. You do, you know, so they're a nice way, I think, of spreading out the love without favouring one person or one type of roster.
Yeah. Well, if you guys remember, that's what the old challenges for mods was, you know, you had the Jawas, you had the Ewoks, you had, you know, the Phoenix, you had attackers, you had, you know. It's like challenges 2.0.
Yeah, I mean, so, well, we'll see. I mean, we know that there's a road ahead coming sometime in the near future. We just don't know when. So if we can get a road ahead and they can start laying out what they want to do moving forward, that'd be kind of nice. But so we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm gonna hold my breath, bro. We'll see what happens. But we do know that phase 2 is coming. We just don't know when they're going to execute it and when they're going to do something about it. So, all right, we got the questions coming in. Again, I'll give the format here for everybody. It's just we're all on the same page. If you have a question that you want to pose to myself or the panel or all of us at the same time, it's all good. All you need to do is put your question into the chat. Make sure you put the word question in front of your actual question statement. You can see that we've got a lot of people giving good examples of that already. So get your questions in. And remember, we go for 2 hours, and so get your questions in sooner rather than later. And we will rock and roll. So I'm pulling up Nightbot right now, and we will get this rocking and rolling. So I'm just checking something real quick, and then come on. Now Nightbot wants to fight me. Why are you being like this? Why are you being like this? All right. I think it's working. It's working. It's working.
So wizard, Annie.
Yeah. All right. Let me see here. Let's rock and roll with our first question. Nathan H says, question, Sandfly, please continue your story about being on the beach with the ladies and your game. Grundy would appreciate the story. We're just going to ignore that. Thank you very much. No, we're not continuing the story. If you'd like the story of Atlas Sandfly and his lovely ladies of the beach, feel free to jump in a Discord with all this. You can get all the juicy details about that. You try to shame on you. You try to invoke the power of Grande. That doesn't work on me. I'm about to go get me an old priest and a young priest to exorcise these demons. All right. Let's see here. Yeah, Piece's question, is this how you want the question format? Okay, there you go. Well, there you go. There's a perfect example of that. Thank you, Gappy. God. Darsai 1972, what's going on? Says, question for Ranger. Now that the new ship is out, how good is it with the Radis? Any thoughts on how to use the ship and what Radis can take down? Thank you. The new ship, pretty much, I talked about this last night with Heinze. Both fleets really against Executor. It's not. It's a little bit less than 50-50. It can work, but I'm just going to tell you guys right now, Executor is still the meta. However, against Malevolence and Negotiators, they do quite well because they've got their dedicated tank, the synergy. You can now, it opens up the doors for some stuff, and some combinations. It just makes the First Order fleet really good against Negotiator, which was or already was, but now you've got, instead of coming in with Clone Sergeant, you got this dedicated tank that you can come in, or you can start in the starting lineup. You can play around with both, but it's still very good with the call and assist and all that kind of stuff mechanic. And then the Radis, this tank is one thing that what's really hard about the Radis fleet, right? Is that you only have 3 ships. You have to use their abilities and do certain things to get her to the cooldown for her hold'em maneuver. That's what you're aiming for. Well, now you got a tank that helps you do that significantly better now. So it's a 4th ship. So you can take on those Malevolence. You can take on those Negotiators. And the Executor's still the goddamn Executor. I don't know what to tell you. It's still pretty a dope ass meta ship. But no, the tanks are really, really, really good. So I don't think the intention was to just take out the Executor. I tried. Sometimes I'd win. I mean, even a broken clock's right twice a day. I mean, that's what we're dealing with here. But I don't know. Aldous, BCM, just looking on paper, what do you guys think about the 2 new ships and fleets?
Well, obviously, really kind of know most about the Resistance, obviously, because it's, the one that's kind of using and kind of moved the thing up. And yeah, I mean, Radis is all about the holding maneuver. That's the only point of the... I mean, I have to say, I have used Radis. I use Radis very occasionally to clean up a various sort of ship in GAC that's gone a bit wrong. The Poe Dammer and damage is very high. So any time just makes them better. The only problem I have is that, a low star tank really isn't a tank. It starts to become a little bit of a liability. It's a decent... I'm surprised it doesn't have as high the health and protection as I expected. It does have very high defense, I think. But yeah, the new ship... and it's nice that it's got Rose and RT, so anyone that's already got Ray automatically has the pilots. Yeah, it's decent. It's decent. But I like it more because I've lost a few... Well, I haven't lost Grand Arenas, but there have been a few occasions when I've actually got to, say, my 6th fleet, and I've actually run out of ships. I've had to use Sith Fighter. So even just what will eventually be 3 more ships in a few weeks' time is going to be good just to have another body to put in there. So yeah, it's good. But
we still need more ships.
I think we're going to, we need more. Hopefully there's a 5th Resistance coming. It's still only 4 for Resistance. So hopefully there is going to be another 1 each for First Order and for Resistance. But yeah, I think the resistance ship looks good, and it's going to get you to the hold on maneuver much more consistently, and it's going to allow people to probably have a pretty solid 2-tap tactic sorted. So you'll be able to choose whether you go Malevolence or whether you go a 2-tap. Yeah, it's going to be quite good. And I'll wait till I see more on the First Order one when it really kind of, I mean, obviously we've seen the kit and it looks the better of the two, but until we see it in action, it's hard to know. But yeah, the Echelon looks better.
Yeah, we've always had those things where it's like on paper this looks a certain way, and then, you know, the limited testing I've done on it, you know, it looks my initial thoughts, but then always the case whenever it gets out there in the community and you have these incredible theater crafters and stuff come up with these crazy comps, you know, then it really shines, because, you know, I just don't have the time to test everything that you guys come up with sometimes. So you guys are going to come up with crazier stuff than I could ever think of. So we have another person joining us. Look who it is. Look at this. The very sexual Warrior from Warrior Presents is here. Hello, Warrior.
What is going on?
We are talking about, we just got some questions. Obviously, this is the big subject, is the new ships and the farming. And how's your farming going? And what do you think of the new ships so far?
I haven't had a chance to really play with it, but you know, I did get it unlocked after 2 days because of the drops in Cantina, which is awesome. I like that you can unlock all of the abilities to max.
Yep.
It used to be with ships that when you got a ship, they were key locked to specific star levels. So
Right.
until you had 7 stars, you couldn't use all of the abilities. But now it's ability rich. It allows you to unlock everything max, even at 3 stars. So that's good. It has 110,000 health and protection, which I think would be enough just to be a fill-in to die in how we currently use it. As a cleanup, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's going to do what it needs to do. Will it be revelatory or something like that? I don't think so.
No, it's not. It can do what it needs to do. I mean, if you're going to do a 2-shot, it's a nice. It's both fleets can do what they need to do. Well, I'm just talking mainly Executor, but against like Malevolence and Negotiators, they can start punching up. They can start punching up even more against those ships.
Yeah, and I guess we'll see once we have it 7 stars, but they haven't released how they're going to, other than buying it, they haven't released how we're going to farm it. I mean, we've got the temporary drops for 5 days, and we've got the 2 packs, and then they've got the 1 pack that's like a character. And I'm not going to spend $350 on a silly tank ship just so I can have it as a cleanup.
Well, that 1999 pack, I just don't think it's worth it. First of all, it's only 20 character shards. There's no crystals in it. It's only, and you get 500k, but I mean, ship credits, just no. for $20, I'm not overly enthused about that pack. You know, when you compare it to like one of the character packs, like for instance, you know, with Night Sister being out there right now, you get all the starting equipment to get it to like, you know, 6 or 7, and then 30 shards, but you get crystals, and it's a full unlock for that. You know, it's 30 shards that takes it from 3 to 4 stars and unlocks it at 4 stars. So I think that's just a better value for a pack like this. And then you look at the ship pack, and I'm like, no, you get less shards and less crap for it. I know it's a little different with the other resources, but you know, 20 of the reinforcements materials and, you know, the Omega. Okay, maybe if you need it, might be, but not for $20. I'm not feeling that. And then the $12.99 pack. Yeah, enjoy Swevens unless you're Loki.
Yeah.
Heinz rolled that crap last night. It was a lot of Swevens on that pack. I mean, you get the other stuff with that, which I kind of like. You get some additional of the other pieces on there, which is nice, but it's still it's the $12.99 pack. You're still going to get a lot of Swevens unless I says you're Loki. So just farming on Cantina. These packs just don't. They don't excite me, as Warrior said for his ship, that, you know, it makes these other fleets better, but I don't think it's worth $350 either. So, all right, let's get to some more questions. Let's see here. Nathan,
I'm actually looking more forward. I'm looking more forward the First Order ship. It looks like it's going to be ridiculous with its stealth and all all the assisting.
Yep, it's nice.
I mean, that's going to supercharge the first order fleet. I mean, that already has enough attacks out of turn.
Yeah,
But
especially with the old slicer.
yeah.
Nathan H. Question: I have a lot of crappy Imperial troopers for Iden. Which of the leftover troopers do you prefer? I don't know what that word is. Again, I guess with her is what you meant to say. I mean, I'm
Are we
ready.
talking about the Iden team?
Yeah, I can tell you the one I'm going to be running, and there's one or two that I can switch out. Right, Star can go in that team as well, so you can use. But I'm going Iden, Magma, Snow, Death, and Stormtrooper. Now I can substitute a Shore, or I can substitute a Stark or a Range Trooper. All those are viable options. It just depends on what I'm using with the main team, because I usually use that to take out Darth Revens. It's with a very fast Piet. I usually don't use Gideon, but you can't run Gideon or any of the people that have any kind of leadership. With Item, you can't run Rock'em Sock'em Robot, because it's very specific in her kit that you can't use that character. She doesn't get the bonuses and things of that nature. So you can kind of mix and match. I think it's just the team Item with just any of those four does very, very well. The higher, especially the higher you have her starred and geared and things of that nature. We'll go around the corner here. Warrior, what do you think is the best Iden comp that you've seen?
I mean, like you said, I think it really depends on what you're using. So what you have left over, because that's exactly what I do. It's what's left over. I use Shore Trooper as the tank because she is infinitely better with a tank versus no tank, just for the record. And then I like to use Snow Trooper, of course, and then Death Trooper. He's got the double tap with the Rebels, because a lot of people are trying to use the Rebel counter, so he kind of keeps that in check a little bit. And then you can plug it over. I have used Stark, but I prefer Stark actually as a turn meter train for my other team.
Yeah.
So it's basically the same team that you said. Instead of Storm, though, I like to use Shore Trooper for the beginning auto taunt.
Yeah, Magma's really good in that team too. His turn meter reduction and that double tap too, especially once he gets relic. You'll notice once you get even a gear 12, even a low steer geared Iden, like 3 to 5 stars with gear 11, does quite well on defense. It's a pain in the ass team. It really is. And the higher it goes, then all you need to go do is watch some of those content creators that are in the upper echelon of Kyber 1 trying to deal with Iden. It's a nasty team. It really is. And I think her Omicron, although not, it's you can still run Iden without it, but it's really nice to have that Omicron. It's the next Omicron I'm doing because it's really good. All this BCM, I know you guys are a little bit lower on the GP, but if you run into any Idens, are you working on Iden at all?
Love Iden. I mean, I'm 7.7, so I'm using it against Mon Mothma teams. Iden, I've got the Iden on me. I think it's brilliant. It's one of the best, more fun things they put in. And I agree. I do tend to switch the teams around. Sometimes I'll put in the 2 tanks. It depends what I'm up against, but sometimes I'll go more the damage and the TM of Magma. I wouldn't say there's necessarily a meta 5 or meta 4 to go with Iden. It's pretty much who you've got. They're all do different things. I put more gear into Snow. Snow, I would say, is probably the one which he seems to do most of the damage. Even though mine is terrible. Mine's only G7 or 8, but Snow seems to sort of do some decent sort of stuff. So Iden's brilliant. Get Iden. Iden always the best thing. But yeah, I run similar. I don't tend to put Shore in. I will tend to go Magma instead. Magma, Snow, Stark, and Death.
Okay.
Sometimes sometimes I'll put in Storm. It really depends how I feel, to be honest.
All right.
I definitely recommend the Omni. Mine's only 3, or my Iden's only 3-star gear 10. And I got Magma for the turn meter removal. I run Snow for the AoE and stuff. Death Trooper for the death mark. And then I got Shore in there right now, but I'm thinking to swap out Storm and tempted to give him his Zeta, because that's a sneaky way of doing it. Because and here's my reasoning, and I'm sure Ranger knows too, is Storm with a Zeta, anytime a Imperial Trooper ally dies, he gains 10% stacking offense. if you don't taunt with him and there's no taunt around the team, they're going to go for the weakest character, which should be Iden at that point because of her star level. They're going to keep killing her over and over, and she's going to keep reviving because there's a trooper ally on board. So eventually Stormtrooper is going to be one-shotting people because his offense is just going to be ridiculous.
The valid point. Yeah, I didn't think about that.
Yeah, because she's going to revive with a trooper ally live, and then it's just it just seems ridiculous. And then you have a turn meter removal, and then even Death Trooper with his bomb, you get the health block.
Yeah, good point. It's a nasty team, folks. Start thinking about you working on your eye, and it'll really help you out.
I got the Zeta or the Omnian right before the last lock-in, and they're all sub-geared 11, and they were wrecking relic teams. It was ridiculous.
Damn. All right. Let's see. Gappy question says, just how great is the Galactic Chase? Huzzah! The Galactic Chase, the greatest event ever! Yay! There you go. That's what you wanted to hear. Gappy with a question says, what's the good setup for Iden, and how low geared can they function? We just answered that, but you see him perfectly. You knew before he was even asked how to answer that question. Way to go, buddy. We can just move on.
And by the way, I'm 5'7", so
okay, there you go.
I should add that my Iden's still 3-star, so it works.
Yeah,
it works at 3-star. Don't worry, you don't need to farm the crystals. It'll work at unlock.
Well, I think one of the things I do like that CG's been doing here of late with a lot of their characters is that they're very viable. Even if you look at all the characters like Starkiller and some of the other ones that they put out recently with Iden, etc., you can use them at lower stars and lower gear and still get some good value out of them. It's not like the day where it's like, God, this character is really not going to do anything until 7 stars Relic 5, and I'm enjoying that they're doing that, especially for those people that are free to play. They get an opportunity, they can feel like they can use those characters on their accounts and get something out of it. So yeah, I think that's another aspect of this. All right, Darsign 1972 question: I just did Zam Omicron. Is it better for offense or defense? Also, what bounty hunters do you use with her? That is a very, very, very open question. Where did it start? Yes, for all this.
So my 2 cents is it's really difficult at my level. I mean, everyone I fight's at 10 million GP, and they have everything. And you really want to go heavy defense, because if you don't, you just get walked over and you lose through efficiency no matter what. So you can't just give people the win.
No.
So you have to set 3 or 4 GLs on defense. And by doing that, you're stuck now with leftover teams. And so for me, that is one of those punching above their weight teams you can take in to fight these other teams. And so I always use it on offense. When I see it on defense, I laugh, because all you have to do is CLS it and it's over, and that team's wasted. So there's some really easy counters to make sure that the team just doesn't get what it needs. But on offense, you can cherry pick what you're using it against, and you'll always guarantee a nice clean 65 or 64 victory, and it really punches way above its weight. So I personally prefer always having it for offense, so that way I can put something heavier on defense. So, and my battles, if you've noticed lately, are like all within 14, 15, 16. And a lot of times there's not full clears on either side. Like,
oh no, I'm the same boat.
Yeah, we're all like, oh, look, I got 1,350 points. That's okay. I won.
Yeah, it's almost impossible, because
they're like,
yeah.
And then you run your gauntlet, you don't get cleared, and you're like, oh, I guess I lost this battle. And then you watch them and they don't clear, and you're like, oh, sweet.
Well, that's why, right? And it's coming down, Warrior, with a little bit outside of this question. It's like, you got to have those teams for those GLs that are secondary cleanup teams, right? So that's why I'm working on the teams that I'm working on, is to be able to go in there. And now I've got Starkiller. It's like, okay, I can use that against the GL. If they go weak Ray, I go Gas here. I can go Boba Fett with Bam on this team. I can use Grievous on their City, or their Sith Eternal if they put that down, which you're seeing people do more often, right? I keep 2 GLs, and so that way I can. My goal is to get through the South if I can, even if I want two-shot one of the GLs, I'm like, okay, I got through the south, they didn't, then I'm pretty much in the driver's seat, you know. But yeah, I agree with you 1,000%. The bounty now the team, for me, it depends. If I can run my normal team, let's say, you know, and I outspeed them with my normal team without having to go orally, because orally will help you get your payout immediately. It's really nice. If that's the case, I'll go I'll go Boss Lee with Grief and Mando and Boba Fett and Zam, and just go in there and get 65 like Warrior said. Sometimes, like, you'll see Dash at 370 speed, you're like, okay, or get your ass in there. We'll take out Boba Fett and we'll get to disintegrate his monkey ass. So it depends on what you're seeing, but I agree with you 1,000%. Warrior offense, it's so much better, because if you don't outspeed them and you put that team down, they can use their own bounty hunters against you if they got Zam and get 65, or they can use a lot of teams, and if they know what they're doing, that's just free 65 manners. And when you're in these defensive battles, when you're in the top of Kyber 1, you're going to face some stiff competition, so you need everything you can. All this, I mean, BCM, what do you guys think?
I'm like you. I use the same standard Bosk led, you know, Bosk, Boba, Grief, Mando, and then Zam, and I use it for offense.
All right.
I've been sticking it on defense, but I'm transitioning it into offense. I do think that at the top end, it is offense. I do think at lower GP levels, Bosk is always a problem. It is one of those backwall teams that people can get stuck on. So if you are in that 2 to 4 million or 2 to 5 million range, and people are getting stuck, it can be a decent Bosk on the back, especially because people are obviously farming for Houndstooth, and therefore Bosk and Relic Bosk, I can imagine, are earlier in the farm. So yeah, so I think but the bounty hunters can be in any combination, really. They work totally different.
We just got a $2 super chat from Ramon Azab. I don't know who that poser is. It says Warrior and Ranger are smoking hot. Well, whoever they are, Warrior. I mean, the name sounds familiar, but that's a name I haven't heard since before you were born.
Remon.
What's going on, Remon? Talk about a name from the blast from the past. What's going on, Big Pimp? Thank you for the $2, my friend. Hope you are doing well, and he has good taste. Well, yeah, I agree. Me and Warrior are smoking hot, like butter. All right, it's good to see Remon.
And because he's seen me in a swimsuit.
Oh yeah.
we have had some fun times in Hollywood, California.
Hell
together.
yeah.
That was a good trip.
All right, let's see here. What is the next question? Gappy, question: is there any point of TB Omicrons based off the current format? I say this as there's enough characters available to get max combat waves and TBs without the need of Omicrons. I don't see any point in any TB Omicron at all. None.
No.
I mean, the debate is really TW or GAC, and that is, you know, my argument for against TW ones is Omicrons. And even though there's some really nice ones, trust me, there are, but the way TW set up with the teams that you're facing and things of that nature, if you got the teams, I don't care. I mean, even if you put some GLs down, you have some GLs. Like for me, it's like, okay, I put some GLs down. I still have GLs left over. And if they're going to put a wall of Phasma, we're running a heavy team. We got enough for offense that in TW, it's like, yeah. Now for offense, it can be really nice. Like Mara Jade's TW Omicron is really nice on offense. You know, Dabob Boba Fett, we know what it can do. And we know what Phasma can do. You can use a lot of them on offense. My philosophy on this is that GAC is where the crystals are at. GAC is where you get most of your rewards. You do more GAC than you are TW. And if you can get your farms done and get these rewards to help you get your characters up and get your tunes up and get more of these teams unlocked, that just helps your guild out more than a TW Omicron. Some people swear by them, and that's okay. There's no right or wrong answer here. But TB Omicrons, you don't need them.
No. I mean, you're still never going to get light side maxed out because of ships. And that's just, there's not enough GP there. And as far as TW, I mean, let's be real, TW is really bragging rights. I mean, if you're high enough GP, you're going to get rewards. And they're slightly different, but it's still, they're on par with each other. So it's bragging rights against other guilds. But yeah, crystals is what's needed. I'm not gonna put any other Omicrons unless it's GAC.
Yeah. Who just joined? Oh, Calvin Awesome just joined us. Calvin Awesome.
What's up, dudes?
How many TB Omicrons you put on, Calvin?
Big fat old 0.
Ah. Perfect timing.
The only one that I think is really like debatable is if like you have a 4 million account, you have JML, you really struggle getting waves, but you could get like you could go from getting like a 0 out of 0 or 0 out of 4 to getting a 4 out of 4 by getting the Rolo one. Like I think that one, like depending on what you want, is kind of worth it under certain circumstances. But yeah, I just heard the last of what you guys said. For the vast majority of the game, I would say it's a very bad, not just Rolls, but Rolls is great. But TB in general is just a bad investment. Unless they start giving us a new one, or guilds are literally going to start letting you in or not letting you in depending on what you have.
Yeah. But it's like, even with Lightside TB, like, we're now at the stage where it's like, depending on where your guild is, but I'm just using mine, we're 400 million GP. The issue for TB, as brought up by BCM, is not, it has nothing to do about the battles. We go 4 for 4 in phase 4 with the battles. That happens. That's not the issue. We just don't have enough GP, especially with ships, which we need about, I don't know, 20 more ships at the minimum before we even come sniffing close to that. So it's not beating the battles that's the issue. And, you know, if you get the right teams and they're decently relicked, and modded, you're going to be fine in the battles in Lightside TB. You can still get bad RNG. You know, you get to that 4th wave and you're like, aha, wait, what do you mean? I didn't get a turn. God damn it, no! You know, it's just, it happens. You know, so once in a while you'll go 3 for 4, but if you've got like CLS, or you've got Rey, or you've got the right Jedi, you know, Kenobi just absolutely murders the entire, any phase that you're in, especially the GR phase. So once you start getting these teams lined up, and then Momo with the Rebel Fighters, with Kyle and everything, if you got the right team, and it's modded, they'll go 4 for 4 for you easily. You know, it used to be 50-50 with Momo, but with Kyle in there now, he goes first, that team takes off, they got the Terminator train going, you're good. So yeah, TB Omicrons, I'm on pause. I'm just waiting to see, guys, like, what are we getting in the future that's going to make these worth it? You know, I don't know. We'll see. TW and GAC, that's where it's at.
I do think,
go ahead.
I do think the only way they can make it worth it is if there's a new TB, whatever that might be, there'll be the one team that mimics the GOs. So whereas, you know, like the Cam mission or the Walk mission, there's going to be one team you're needed. It could be Ewoks. Only that Omicron, I guess, would be the one that would make sense, because you're not going to be able to throw in GLs because you're going to be limited. But there's no need until any of that happens.
I agree. All right, next question from Darstein 1972 says, question, I am tired of losing GAC bases upon only a coin flip RNG with Executor. I've even saved mine for offense, and it's all RNG as everyone has P at Relic 9 like me. Will this get addressed soon by CG? Well, I don't think anybody here knows if this will be addressed soon by CG. Not even your infamous beta tester knows that. I can say that one thing I do for coin flips that I face is that I do two tactics. If I lose the coin flip and they go after Razor Crest, instead of doing the mass attack, I go heal. And then the first ship that I'm always bringing off the bench is the Ebon Hawk. And even if I lose the coin flip, I can still lose, but because I'm the AI stupid, I usually win most of those matches with the coin flip. Those would be a couple tricks that I would tell you, Darsign. And I got that from Hawthorne and some other better players than me that did that. But you can still lose. It's still kind of a thing. I mean, what do you guys, you know, the 2 shots in Executor, I mean, it's kind of a strategy people go in with now. It's like, okay, I know I can't beat this ship. Play it safe. You know, get the 1 shot on the other ship and then go in there with two fleets and take this one. And that, of course, we send in the sacrificial Mace Windu fleet. But what do you guys think of this? Where the game is at with the coin flips? It's a problem. I mean, it's one of the few things where, you know, we don't run into this with characters. I mean, very rarely do you ever see somebody tying like that with characters, because with the mods and everything else, it's too much calculus that can go one way or the other, but not with ships. It's like there's no differentiating. What do you guys think?
5 of the last 6 battles I had were determined by whether I could clear the ships or not, and how efficient I was at clearing the ships. If I was not able to clear or inefficient, I would lose. And if I was able to clear efficiently, I would win. Period. Everything else, I could single shot everything hyper efficiently. Comes down to ships, and then I can't clear their ships. It's like it is the most frustrating part of the game. I used to be like the ships guy. Everybody knew that. You know, oh, Warrior loves ships. He's the theory crafter for ships. I hate ships. They've ruined it. It's like they take a thing like Conquest that's awesome, then they destroy it. They take things like ships that we love it, and then they destroy it. I don't know why they insist on doing that, but it is very difficult. I will say that in the last 4 days, I get my mark every time now. The reason why I would lose on a mirror match in arena is that I would do my AoE and my mark would not land like 30 to 50% of the time.
Right.
And then it's just you have to try to survive at that point, and it's annoying because it's a 4.5 minute battle that you might lose anyway. So a lot of times it's like just restart and try over. But I've noticed in the last few days, my mark is now way more consistent. And when I get my mark, even if I go second, I'm going to win. So because they'll hit your Houndstooth accidentally, feeding you turn meter, which allows you to go first and finish off their ship before your ship.
Right.
And as long as you're not hitting their Houndstooth and doing the same, or hitting a different ship and doing the same thing to them. So yeah, I don't know. I noticed there's a little more consistency with that now. Is that just an anomaly in the last few days, or have they done something, where they've tweaked the mark because maybe they thought it was broken or something and needed it to land better? I don't know, but I have my ships placed in a certain way, and it should theoretically work like consistently 100% of the time, and it's only started working better recently.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you on that. Look, so what? The suggestion's been made. What do we do about the time that's really going on with the coin flip? And I'm like, we got to get some kind of mod kind of thing. You don't have to call it mods or Astromex, whatever. We need some way to distinguish ships from just the gear, because obviously there's not enough there to separate speed and things of that nature. So we got to get something in ships. If this is going to be eventually, I mean, if all things are equal and it comes down to coin flip, that really sucks. Unlike the other game where it's like, I modded better, I'm using this team, and it's a strategy involved with it. Not ships. It's just flip a coin. Whoever goes first has a huge advantage on this, and if the AI plays it smart, because sometimes where you're right, the AI will be like, Houndstooth, let's shoot it. And you're like, yay! Even though I didn't go first, I'm going to win, But yeah,
well, I would suggest just make offense always go first. Make offense win the coin flip. And then you get people attacking more, you get more one-shots, but you don't get people blocking as often, and people aren't going to get frustrated. People only get frustrated if they're going on offense and lose. They don't really get frustrated because they don't really know what happened. If they've got their ship on defense and it gets beaten. So yeah, I think just whoever's on offense wins a coin flip would be my resolution, and I think everybody would be happy with that. We can all go home and all perfect.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have a counter for it, so if it's on defense, I'm screwed. It's a loss. Once I unlock ships, if the Executor's sitting there, I have nothing for it, so I have to block, my lower level and just hope to God I can clear his or theirs.
Interesting. Anybody else? Calvin, your thoughts on the old coin flippage Executor nonsense going on right now?
I mean, it is what it is. Like you put the guy in the same position that you're in. Like you throw your Executor on defense, he has it on defense, and both you have to go through the same crap. I have never had a match decided because of Executor. I've had more matches decided because of Negotiator than Executor for basically the same reason. If you're trying to do a mirror, a coin flip just ends you, or the 2% dodge from the Anakin dodge from the Budge droids and the buff immunity, like that's
Bless you, War.
To be fair, Negotiator's been around for way longer than Executor has, but I mean, like I would like I would like more consistency with it. Like I've almost always, there was only one time where I wasn't able to burn it down with enough fleets. I would like just a little bit more consistency with that. Maybe even from the new tanks, where Like if I have these 3 fleets, I am guaranteed that it goes down. But yeah, that's pretty much my thoughts on it.
Yeah.
They could utilize the existing technology they built into the game. There's 2 ways they could handle it. They could do an Omicron that is for arena. But I know they're going away from arena, so they wouldn't do this. But I'll tell you the other side. So they could do an Omicron for arena that says your capital ship gains 2 speed and it locks speed for the other ships at the start of battle or something. So that way you're guaranteed to go first, but it's an Omni you got to invest in. But I don't think they're going to do that because arena is going to go away. They have always said that, and they've already done half of their arenas. Now they're going to eventually move to the other arena. So with that, they could use Omicrons in Grand Arena that just say, like there's 3 different Omicrons, but you can only pick one. And once you pick one, the other 2 get locked out. And so it's like paper, rock, scissors. You got to choose which Omni you decide you want to go with. One, maybe your ship gets an extra 2 speed. Another one, maybe you recover 10% protection every time an opponent shoots, attacks. And another one is whatever. And you wouldn't know until they were played out which one was best. And maybe this one beats this one or this one beats that one. But you can only choose one Omni, and then it locks the other Omnis out. It gives a little bit of diversity and uniqueness to it. I think that would be another way to handle it, but using the Omni system that they have built into the game.
They could. They absolutely could. All right. We have the Nev with us.
Hello, Governor.
Hello, Governor. How are you, sir?
Yeah, not too bad.
After the great
No
flood,
water got in
flood
last
of
night, so very
2022.
None. No water got in last
Yay!
night. I'm absolutely over the moon that nothing got in last night. So I didn't have any mop up to do this morning. It was great.
I was getting ready to go build an arc and get all the content creators 2x2 to.
Yes,
you know.
yes. There's a spot for you there. There's a spot for everybody here in the great content creator arc.
As long as I got food and television, I think we'll all be fine. Just munch, munch, watch.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's get to some more questions as we slowly have these content creators matriculate in. Let's see here. Bear Juice, hope I said that name right. Welcome. Says, question, why did CG not release a Paige as a character to pilot the bomber? She had more character development in 3 minutes than Rose had in 3 films. Jesus Christ. I'm glad he's not wrong, but I'm glad they did, and I'm really happy that they're using existing characters that you will have to, if you haven't done already, you will have to for Galactic Legends, and that's a nice little tip of the cap, I think, to the player base. That you don't have to get another character on top of this to, it's not like it's a little different with Second Sister because you got plenty of time before you're going to get that ship to work on her and get her whatever level, right? And that ship will unlock here probably in the next conquest, right? To 5, was it 4 or 5 stars? I don't remember. I think it's 5. 145.
It's 5, yeah.
It's
It'll
5.
be somewhere in the, depending on what you buy, it can be in the middle or at the end of this one.
Mm-hmm. So, I lost my train of thought. But, I mean, I thought it was a nice little tip of the cap. I mean, I didn't want another goddamn pilot and another, how do you guys feel about the, pilots? I'm glad that they picked the ones that did here, but moving forward, kind of scraping the bottom of the barrel here. I really don't want to see a cup pilot for a ship or anything like that, because they're going to have to start introducing new characters. What do you guys think of ships and characters and really it's ships, the non-piloted ships?
I mean, they kind of dug themselves into a hole on that one, with Executor being able to ignore pilotless, at least crewless tanks. So really, for these to have any viability, at least against the top tier, they had to have pilots, and I 100% agree with you. I don't want another character to farm for 6 months and then have to put 400 Kairos on them. Like that sounds terrible. Like I'll take a pre-existing character that is already a part of like a Galactic Legend farm that's pretty much already done. So, but yeah, I think it's more so for balancing issues against the current meta. Maybe that'll go away, especially with like attackers or healers or something like that in fleet, because they're not going to ton anyways.
Mm-hmm. All right, everybody else?
I think they have the technology in the game right now. They could probably do you could do mods for ships, for lack of a better term, but like engine upgrades or shielding upgrades or whatever. Just, you could do the 6 like you have on characters, right? I know that's more mod stuff farm, but that would also help balance out meta and stuff like that too. As far as the new ships coming in, it's nice because you already have the characters of Relic for the farms. I would really hate to have second sister, but that's kind of to be expected. I don't mind that, but yeah, if there's new ships coming in, it'd be nice to have the pilots already ready to go.
All right.
For me,
They need to. Oh, sorry. Go.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say they've never really stuck with law and proprietary when it comes to the ships. I mean, we've looked at some of the ship conquest type, not conquest, sorry, the challenges or and it involves requiring ships that you're like, why the hell do I require that ship for that ship? So they've never really stuck with that. I'd agree with you, Ranger, that it's more of a hat tip. We're not going to throw a marquee character at you that you either have to buy or farm in order to get the ship working. And yeah, I just don't think that they wanted to have to put too much effort in. They wanted like easy fixes for the specifically for the Resistance and the First Order. They were looking for easy fixes because we've been asking for just give us the ships. No one's been saying give us the characters and the ships. People have been saying just give us the ships.
Yeah, that's true.
So we brought this on ourselves. We didn't say
I've done this
we want
yourself,
Rose Tico
Anakin.
Sister and that, and we want some random crew to go with some random. Nobody said that. People were just saying give us 2 ships, and that's what they've done. And they've kind of jerry-rigged.
That's because we're beggars, you know what I mean? They're like, please just give us.
You got any more of them tank ships in there?
I need it, baby. Can't you see I'm hurting? Come on.
I do think they missed a trick. I do think they missed a trick with the ships, making them like the B1 or / the because obviously it's still not a full crew. I think it would have been nice to make them regenerate if destroyed, if there were First Order or Resistance still on the field.
All right.
Like the Vulture droid.
The Vulture droid.
I think both. I don't know. Both of them seemed a bit rushed for me. A bit kind of last minute. We stuck in the State of Galaxy and God, here's 2 ships. But in the State of the Galaxy, it was a little bit. They spent obviously lots of time working on their hierarchy of needs, or whatever that was. And then they just, by the way, we're giving you the 2 bomber ships you always wanted. And it's the kind of thing you're like, what? Remember these ships we've been asking for? We're finally okay. But you only mention it now. And then they come out pretty fast. I don't know. I find that a little strange. We are still only sitting at 4 ships, 5 ships. We're still not quite got a full plethora of First Order Resistance. So I still think that we could be another ship coming. But I wouldn't be surprised if the Star Fortress ended up being a requirement for something. As awful as that might sound, we might end up with that or the Echelon being a requirement of 5-star to unlock something. But
of course,
but
something like that.
Yeah, something like that. The Galactic Chase is a weird way to launch them because they haven't done that in a while. I thought they'd kind of almost moved away. So to me, they looked like kind of, oh God, we haven't launched these yet. Let's get them out. Let's launch them on a rainy Thursday, rather than necessarily being a strategy. So I think the fact they didn't give us a sensible pilot that made any kind of canon sense is just a situation where they are with characters. But I wouldn't be surprised if in the future there is a Page Tico coming and there is a 5th ship coming, and I wouldn't be surprised if we got there.
All right. Let's get to the next question. Gap Pieces question. We're not even out of February and there are 3 new ships. Can we call 2022 the year of the ship? Really? I'm not ever making that. I made that around this time last year. I made that this was going to be the year of the ship. I'm out. Dealer, I'm out. Change over. Someone else can make that claim. I am not. My days of calling the year of the ship are over. Anybody else want to throw their hat in the ring and say this is going to be the year of the ship?
This is going to be the year of the ship.
Well, Dev is taking the mantle from Ranger.
Oh yeah, no, I'm taking the mantle from you. That this is going to be the year of the ship because next year, 2023, is the anniversary of Return of the Jedi, and they will be giving us a Death Star raid, and we will be needing lots and lots and lots of ships for a Death Star raid.
Look what Nev's predicting here. Well.
I've been saying that they're going to give us a ship raid in 2023 for over a year now. They're saving it. They've made the ship raid. They made the ship raid. They had 2 devs. They said it in a Q&A in October 2019. It was. I think it was either October, November, or December 2019. There was a Q&A. They said that there was a couple devs that had been working on a ship raid, but that it got mothballed. And I figured, they're just they'll roll it out in the because there was some speculation that it wasn't going to be all. Each tier was going to be ships, and that the GLs were going to kind of screw it up or something along those lines. But I just think
content will come out. That content will come out the same time that their vehicles content comes out.
Oh
there
God.
I just think that they like to do fun things that endear us to them on anniversary years, like when they gave us JKL and reworked Vader during the Empire Strikes
Phantom
Back
Menace
anniversary.
didn't get crap.
Thank God.
Don't do that to me, Ranger. Was the 20-year anniversary? I think it was the 20th anniversary, and they didn't even mention it. It was brutal.
Hey, Calvin, let's try spinning. That's a good trick.
It is. It worked.
You're so wizard. It is one of the most quotable movies. It just makes me... Jar Jar using the Boomba. Me, I don't have a Boomba.
Best movie ever.
If this game is still going, in 2029, your anniversary, your anniversary gift for Phantom Menace will be Jar Jar Binks.
At that point, I would be like, let's just get Jar Jar in here. Okay. Who else joined us here? Oh, it's the GAC Whisper Thany Kyrell. Okay, he's going stealth. He's not going to say anything. Okay, he's shy. Let's see here.
Hello there.
Oh, there he is. Haha. Very nice. Darsign 1972 says, question for the panel. What do you think about instead of CG bringing back 3v3 GC? They run 5v5, but with all zones be characters and eliminate ships, it would use all our roster. I would be okay with 5v5 no ships. Once in a while, that'd be kind of cool. But we actually discussed this last night about 3v3. 3v3 is in a big bad place right now because with all these new Omicron, Starkiller, and all these other that require 5 characters or have certain requirements now, it's going to be really hard to bring back 3v3 if they even bring it back at all. I mean, they're not going to bring it back anytime soon. Because they're still trying to get the skill ratings in. Crystals are involved. They're trying to stabilize what they've got, and we've already had some issues with the 5v5. Hence, see a couple of weeks ago. So I don't think we're getting 3v3 anytime soon. But then someone said, "Well, do you think we'll ever get 3v3 again?" Like, it's a great point. What do they do about characters that we are investing heavily in, like Starkiller, that requires 5 characters, or these Omicrons and some of these other characters that require these teams now that they've with this newer stuff? I don't know. It's a really valid point. So what do you guys think about 5v5 no ships? And what do you guys think about 3v3 for the future of 3v3 in this game?
Don't think they'll ever get rid of the no ships. I think they're obviously investing in ships now, so I think we'll always have ships. I would like to see ships not behind characters. I'd like to see ships as a separate zone that's always accessible. So you don't block it. So basically you maybe have 4 character zones in a separate ship zone. 3v3, I love 3v3. I think it's a fun break. And I would just bring it back anyway, and I wouldn't care about all these characters that have these specific 5 teams. It's everybody's in the same boat. I love 3v3, and I was a bit back in, was it November? They were already sort of saying, "Oh, we don't like 3v3." I think think they went into the SWGOH event. Somebody from CG, I think, went in and said when they were talking about 3v3. I love 3v3. I think 3v3 allows a lot more theory crafting, a lot more weird counters, a lot more weird kind of characters, and you can zerg down, so you don't get as blocked as often, I would say, in 3v3. So yeah, I love 3v3, but I do think that the higher ups, which maybe have more influence in CG, hate 3v3 because it puts all the modding and everything different. So I think I don't think we'll see 3v3 for a very long time, but I do love it and I wish we brought it back.
All right, anybody
I
else?
enjoyed 3v3, especially being lower GP. It did allow you, like Sandfly said, to use your full roster, and you did come up with those weird comps. Like I had like an HK led C3PO and Droideka that was like ridiculous. And the only thing that would be is sometimes you run into those like rays that you just, there's no way in heck because you're going to get behind them. And as far as ships, they should just do 2 ship zones, like a fleet in the front and fleet in the back, and add 2 zones on. But I think they would do 5, or they could go back to 3v3 because they did it with 5v5 or in the past, and there were teams that needed all 5 characters. But
we didn't have
think-
crystals tied to it.
Yeah, I think if they ever bring 3v3 back, it's going to very specifically be a separate like Grand Arena structure where they're going to have it detached from the existing structure. I believe this current structure for the crystals will stay intact, so that they'll do like, we're running a special whatever to see, and there'll be some special rewards, but that they'll run it as like an independent event that's outside of the normal Grand Arena.
I agree with that. I really do. I mean, the crystal things is if we were still running the old GAC system, I don't think anybody would really bat an eyelash. Like, oh, it's GAC. But now that crystals and people's crystals incomes are tied to this, going to 3v3, especially when it affects your skill rating and stuff, and it's not just the characters that lose out because they don't meet the requirements, but some characters become OP as hell in 3v3. And it's pretty much, I hear that it gives more theory crafting. I don't buy in that one because I pretty much see the same teams. It's CLS, Chewie, and 3PO, or it's those teams. I've seen them over and over and over again. Nothing surprises me in 3 anymore. Once in a while you get a weird comp, I'm like, okay, but then you look at it like, I don't understand this comp, and you just go in there and wreck it. There's pretty much a meta to 3v3 as well. You'll see a lot of rays on defense, Palpatine's for offense because it can take Palpatine becomes really gross in 3v3. So a lot of the comps are the same, but it's hard to sit there and say, here's 5v5, it's crystals. Here's all these new teams of characters to help you, if you're going to battle to try to get better crystals. By the way, here's 3v3. Forget everything you just worked on, and crystals are still tied to it. We're going to do a 3v3. I just don't see how they do it for the near future. I just don't. People would be a little pissed. It's like everything I just worked on to try to get better crystals is out the door, and now for this month, I get less crystals because I wasn't prepared for a game mode where I can't even practice my teams and counters. For a lot of people, they haven't really done a lot of GAC. People are more engaged in GAC now because of crystals. But for us that have done 3v3, we'll have a huge advantage, especially as content creators. We've done a shit ton of 3v3. You're not really going to throw any curveballs at us, but a lot of people that didn't do as much GC in the past, a 3v3 is going to really throw them off completely, because I know a lot of people in 3v3 when GC was going on, a lot of them either didn't do it. If they did, they just auto joined and auto deployed, or they didn't bother. They just got what rewards that were going to come into it. So I know there's people out there that really love 3v3. I get it, but I don't know. Anybody else think what's the solution here with crystals?
I think because of the involvement of crystals, because of the crystal income in GAC now. As much as I'd love to see some variation,
sure.
I'd love to see the kind of variation that we got back before it was GAC, back when it was GA, where they used to alternate between all 4. So, 1 week you would get 5v5 without ships, 1 week you would get 3v3 without ships, and then 1 week you would get 3v3 with ships, and then the week after that 5v5. But before it was GAC, and it was 4 weeks in a row to make it competitive, and they just did it week after week after week. They would change it up week after week after week, and that variation was wonderful. I just don't think now that crystals are involved that there's going to be any variation at all. Well, maybe most certainly not for a very, very long time. The skill rating system still hasn't settled, and changing the format of GAC while the matchmaking still hasn't settled would just annoy those people that aren't particularly happy with the way that matchmaking's currently going. It needs to fully 100% completely settle, so that those weird odd matches where you're completely outgunned are the exception to the rule, and not something that happens every single week. You know, it's like, oh, I'm facing someone that's 2 mil GP more than me. Oh, it's probably because they don't compete, and that's why I'm facing them, not someone that's 2 mil GP that just is like really bad and still does it, and comes up against someone that's got nothing in their roster to be able to compete against them. So I just, not for the foreseeable future, I just don't see any variation whatsoever. I think, you know, that they've got it fixed. They've done their thing. That the only alterations I see happening in GAC would be reward changes. They might throw more at the more rewards to get more engagement in that game mode.
Well,
that's the only thing I see change-wise.
The other only change I could see is as we get more of these ships and teams and characters, maybe they up the zones with maybe another fleet or another team or two for the zones, especially for upper divisions. But other than that, I don't see any other thing happen. All right, we're past the top of the hour. Oh, go ahead. Who was going to say something?
I was just going to say, I do think they need to guard against a staleness moving in. I know that, again, I think the people at the very top really love 5v5. I think there is a staleness that will start to creep in. The 50th time I've watched Arnold face the same person, it's going to get a little bit samey. And I think Nev's 100% right when they used to rotate through. I think it at least kickstarted the pot. So I hope they have a plan to do something that starts rotating rather than it's just the same mode over and over and over and over and over and over again. And I would say that the skill rating has made it even less varied, because whereas before you used to have one person that maybe didn't try but happened to be at the same GP, then you had somebody that tried really hard, you had somebody with really good mods, you had somebody with a really good roster. Nowadays you face 11 people or 12 people who have the same level as you. So every GAC starts to they're becoming similar. And I think Warrior talked in it earlier on, every one of his last GACs has been won by 15 banners or less. It's looked the same. There hasn't been a full clear. I think we've got to be careful on the entertainment value. We've got to be careful on the freshness value. So yes, people will be annoyed if 3v3 comes back. A lot of people won't like it. I think we need to kind of guard against the other side, though.
All right. Top of the hour. Well, we're past the top of the hour. Make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. It does help the video. So if you wouldn't mind, and why don't you hit that sub? If you love the content, you love stuff like Jedi Academy, why don't you hit that subscribe button? Then you get those notifications when we're doing shows and awesome stuff like this, like the Jedi Academy, and we will allow these awesome folks to pimp their stuff at the end of the show like we always do, and please follow them as well and show them some love for being here for you guys. All right, let's get to the next question. Got a lot of questions coming in. Let's see here. What else? 3 says, question, I'm going to unlock Starkiller this weekend. Congrats. I only have enough for one Omicron. Which should be added first? God, I just did this. It's not force repulse. I think there's much conflict in
it's
you,
the
right?
unique.
Yeah, it's the unique.
It's the unique that gives like that 16 things at the bottom. It's
right. That's the first one you want to do. Then I think
there is much conflict in you, and it's the only one you need. The other one is a dispel, and the other one is a cleanse, and they're cool. But I don't have either one of them, and mine still gets holds all the time. But there is much conflict in you is unequivocal. You have to have that.
Yeah. because that's how you get all the goodies. That's 70. I thought it was only 35 speed. Someone said no, it's 70 speed Ranger, and I looked at it like,
Oh, yeah, when you combine them, it is,
speed.
yeah.
I was like, oh my god, my Mary Jade's almost as fast as a GL. Huzzah! Yay! So yeah, that's to the point. All right, what else are three? Says question: how many stars do you expect to get on the ship by the end of the Galactic chase? Well, I think 5 is definitely easy. You know, I'm 3, and I'm going to hit 4 today, and 5 for sure. Right? I don't think 5 is unreasonable. 6 depends on how your drop rate goes. But I think 5. Anybody disagree? Everyone, if you're doing it consistently, 5 stars.
I mean, how many refreshes are you putting in?
The 300s and the 200s.
Oh,
Yeah, you should hit 5 easy. I think I'm only going to hit 4, but I'm only going to do the 100s.
That's still pretty good.
Yeah,
though.
I'm only doing the 100s as well.
It's better than a Marquise.
Yeah.
Marquise 3.
Yeah. You know,
And I always do the 100s anyways. This is free money for me.
Yeah. So yeah, I do them too every day. You know, consistently 300 for Cantina, depending on what I'm farming, either character or I'm just doing the signal data. God, I always need signal data. God damn it! I'm picking up a lot.
I'm going to give a little bit of shout out Nev on the Excellent Escape podcast, who was the place who first taught me that Galactic chases are the best places to get shards early. So yeah, shout out to Nev for that and the boys over there.
I want to shout out
5-star.
Noah. No, we love Nev. Okay, next question. What else in 3? Is there an iden team version that counters the Triumvirate with Barris option? An iden team version that counters the Sith Triumvirate with Barris option. I've never used or seen iden used against the Sith Triumvirate on defense. I've never seen hardly the Sith Triumvirate on defense.
I think they're trying to build a trooper team that can't be countered by Trey and Barris. Like, is there a specific comp or specific mine? I think is their question.
Could be. Is the way they're worded.
That's one of the main counters to iden right now.
I don't think so. I mean, Sith Triumvirate can take out. I mean, if there's a lot of column assistant on the team, then the Sith Triumvirate just does quite well against it, especially the higher relic and geared it is. I mean, it just does. That's what its purpose is. The more turns you take, the more you're killing yourself. I mean, it's. I don't know what you would. I mean, God, what would you put in there?
There's too many debuffs too, and Treya's just going to be healing everybody up.
Yeah.
I think the only shot you have is if you have a huge mod advantage, if you have a huge relic advantage, you'll just kill them. But I don't think there's any. I mean, the iden comp has so little variation what it is too. Like they can't have any leaders, can't have Dark Trooper, and you can only have Trooper. So you only have like what 7, 8 options at most.
Yeah, with the variations with Stark or not Stark, which tanks you're going in there with. But even then, it's like Trey is.
This is a moment.
It's very little difference.
All of us to really appreciate Barris and what she is and what she does.
Yeah.
The truth is, a lot of people argue about which is the best, healer in the game, but unequivocally Barrisofi, in my opinion. I can use her as a leader with Jawas, and there's like 5 teams I can take out. I can throw her in with Galactic Republic. I can throw her in a Jedi team and keep people alive. I mean, her increasing turn meter and cleansing and defense up and healing, and I mean, it's gross. And exactly the problem. It's literally a team that now like neutralizes iden because Barris. That's why. So it's funny. A lot of people don't really come to appreciate her, or they're like, we're not going to farm her early on. But I would tell you the opposite. You should have her as one of your number 1 most important healers to have, because she is so versatile.
Yeah, she really is.
Yeah, Ranger, how come you don't have a relic up Barris?
Do you want to die on stream? I'll punch you through the heavens, man. You know why. He's such a dick. He does this every time. We agree, like we'll go through and we'll argue, and I'll say what I want to work on, and he'll give some suggestions. I'm like, okay, what do we work? Okay, Dad, Bob, Fennec, Relic. Okay, cool. Okay, we're gonna do the iden team, good. And then all of a sudden he'll be like, someone will mention some other character, be like, yeah, how come you don't have that Relic Ranger? Like, you know why, you piece of Every time you got to do this. Is Poby out there? Can I get a legal secret knife attack on? I'm ordering that special on Thane's monkey ass. And I'm dieting right now. And what did Dickhole do last night? He sent me more pictures of food. Such Just a bastard, man.
It was chicken though. It was lean chicken.
I hate you. All right, just mean. You're just a mean. You're just very. You're being not nice.
Aren't you supposed to buy a pizza, by the way? Didn't Skewers give you money for pizza?
No, we get that. We took care of that already. That was done like days ago, man. I don't even think you watch the streams, man.
Yeah, but you said that they give you more than enough money, so you're gonna buy pizza the next stream.
No, I didn't. God damn. All right, moving on. Oh, I'm gonna kill him. All right, I'm gonna do some more questions here. Let's see. What else? Any 3 questions? How long will it be before Omicrons are as prevalent as Zetas? About a month. What do you guys think? I have no idea. What? Soon, please.
About 4 years.
4 years. Okay. Okay. I don't think it's gonna be 4 years thing.
Probably a solid 2 years.
2 years. Okay.
Yeah.
Anybody want to bid $1?
Yeah. No, for me, longer than you think. I think 2 years about right. I mean, it goes back to that. Before they launched the 2 GLs, they did announce randomly that they had special add-on stuff for all the characters. They made an allusion to it in one of the State of the Galaxies, I think, or Road Ahead. And then I think that then went on to become what the special might have been for the GLs. And there was sort of a missing bit of the game. So I do think that some of these kits we're getting now, or some of these Omicrons, are potentially harping back to that project, which I presume was mothballed. So there could be a lot more of them written out than we think. They're certainly going on the older characters. So I think there was a project that was mothballed a year and a half ago before the 2 GLs that involved writing these sorts of things. So I reckon there's a lot more pre-written than we expect.
I think it's you're on the. I think you're definitely on the right track there, Aldous. I think it was more a case of they had a list of characters and what they would do to those characters in order to implement a rework of them, and they've come. The realizations kicked in since bringing in the nom-noms. It's like, well, we don't actually have to rework characters. All we now need to do is throw an Omicron on them for something specific. I think it would be nice if you could choose where the Omicron had value as opposed to them predetermining, because not everybody likes GAC, not everybody likes TB, not everybody likes territory wars. And I think that if people could pick and choose where they wanted the Omicron to work, the community would look that well. They would make use of that in the game modes that they prefer to play.
I certainly think
that would be for gamers.
I certainly think they could give the TB ones also to Galactic Challenge. No, Conquest. Give us TB / Galactic Conquest, and then those people get a free one, and then they could start trying to monetize them through harder events and harder feats in the Galactic Conquest. I know we don't want to talk too much about that, but I do think that the TV ones are nowhere near as useful as the others.
No, they're there.
Well, they couldn't monetize the relic specials because we already had the relics there, or even the that kind of stuff. So they could monetize the Omicrons. So I think you guys are on point with they already had them. They just couldn't figure out how to implement them. But they can monetize the Omicrons. But I think they should adjust Galactic, the Galactic, what is it? The Galactic Challenge or whatever, the Conquest. They can change Conquest just to allow all Omicrons to be used. Like all Omicrons are active in Conquest.
You've reminded me of the nightmare that I had the other day. Now BCM, the nightmare that I had was just like they've got a Conquest pass. That they come out with like an in-game pass that you pay $30 a month for, and what it does is it makes the Omicrons work across all PvE. So if you've got an Omicron for Territory Wars, and if you've got or an Omicron for GAC, by monetizing a pass and creating a pass, it allows you to use those Omicrons in territory battles, like a guild thingy.
All right.
Unfortunately, now you put it out there, so Crumb will watch us go, hey, that's a good idea.
All right, well, guys, prepare yourself. We have a Hellenix question here. And it says it's part 1 and 2, but I'm not seeing part 2 anywhere, and I just refreshed it, so this could get ugly. All right, question from Hellenix. This question for the panel, 1 of 2. SWGOH's worst gamer here, me, is only 40 tokens away from finalizing GL Kenobi's ultimate, and I'll finally be done with him. I've geared up Cat, Shakti, and Cam to Relic 7, and I don't have the rest. Congrats.
I got it.
Okay, what's the rest of it say? That
So it
says there?
goes, let's see, part 1, blah, 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 blah. Part 2 is, I got GL Ken and Clone Wars Ken to R8. Q1 is the right comp for General Kenobi squad.
What?
And question 1, what is the right comp for the GL Kenobi squad? And then question 2 is what relic level should I bring them all to?
God damn. All right. The standard team you see in GAC is JMK on defense. JMK with Padme. I am starting to see Maces more on that team. You can't
Gross.
put Kenobi there. Yeah, I know. It breaks my heart. I'm even doing it. With Snips and Cat. For offense, you'll see some people use it for Lord Vader, but that's Kenobi without Cat, with Snips. Snips, Cam, Shakti, and what's the other one on that? Kenobi, and that's a straight beat down of Lord Vader with that team. There's some variations on it. There's the standard team, which is JMK, Cat, Snips, sometimes Gas, or they'll go Jedi Anakin with Kenobi or Mace. So there's a few ways you can go for it. Depends on what you want to use the other Jedi and what teams for. I usually use that team on defense. It still works. Padme and Kenobi is a really good combination. It can be taken out easily by another JMK, and you can beat it with a JML team. But it's still a tough fight. But I don't know, any other combinations and stuff. You definitely don't ever want to put Cam and Kit Kat together on the same team, because you're just basically posing yourself. Any other variations that I missed there, guys? Check my math here.
No, I think you got the variations for the most part. I mean, there's a few people that are starting to move R2 to kind of mess with bounty hunters, but that's like a really niche thing. I'm not sure if I would tell someone that who's building it. But that being said, relic levels, JMK is one of those characters and or teams where the kit carries big time. Like, you do not need super high relics on the entire team. Like R7 on JMK, and the rest of the team can kind of be R5 across the board, and it will work just fine.
All right. Anybody else? All right.
It's just weird, Hellenix talking about a GL.
Well, it's that peer pressure,
his
baby.
first.
Yeah, we got to put that peer pressure on him, man. He's got to grow up eventually, man. And he got GMK, which is nice, really nice.
That was very nice.
Yep. Darsion, so nice. Question for the panel: are you finding GSC more or less fun since crystals have been added to the game mode? I find it a hell of a lot more fun.
Mm-hmm.
Much more engaging, much more fun. I mean, it's a lot of. I just find that people are more engaged in it. In the past, we would get like mismatches. Just the matchmaking's gotten a hell of a lot better for me. And I'm just saying, I'm getting better opponents that are more engaged. So I'm actually having to think about what I'm doing for GAC now. I'm having a lot of fun with it. For myself personally, I find I'm having a lot of fun. I mean, there's some things that need to be worked on for sure, but overall, yeah, I'm having fun. What about the rest of you guys?
I'd call it 50-50. I'm starting to have more fun. At first, I was really a little stressed because I was like, oh, how many crystals am I getting? And then it's like, well, even if I get the 200 for the loss, it's okay. And as long as I'm staying positive. But right now, yeah, I moved from what I started off in a Rhodium 3, and now I'm in Kyber 3 after 2 months. So once the Kyber jump hit, and all of a sudden I needed like 4 more teams for offense and 4 more teams for defense, it was I was like, oh my god. But it's gotten better.
All right, anybody else?
I'm enjoying it, but I'd say it's less fun. And that alludes to the point I made earlier on about, the matches are tighter, the matches are more pressured, everything matters more, but I don't always think that narrowing the variety makes it funner. So yeah, I'm enjoying it, but I'd say that I wasn't having more fun. If that makes sense. I used to love 3v3. I used to go a full light side defense and then a full dark side defense. I used to use characters I'd never had before because it didn't matter as much and the crystals weren't as important. So you used to be able to have not meme defenses, but you used to try and put your best possible defenses down without GLs in it or with all your GLs. So you used to have like the ability to kind of tune it more, whereas now it's got a little bit kind of, these are the teams you have to put down.
All right. Anybody else?
I just. Oh, sorry, Warrior. Go ahead, mate.
I was gonna let you go. Go ahead.
I just love the competitive nature of it. I'm having so much fun with it being much more competitive. I mean, I'm not going 12-0, 11-1 anymore. I mean, we've had 2 months and I've gone 8-4 twice. But I look at those 2 8-4s and go, that's really good because I've really been able to test my roster and my skills, and I've found that fun. You know, beating accounts with 4 GLs and 6 GLs, something I never would have had the opportunity to do in the old system. But I get the opportunity to do that now. I mean, you granted, I've lost to people with 4 GLs, but you know that the satisfying feeling that you get from beating someone with 4 GLs when all you've got is 1 GL is just awesome. It's brilliant because it's taking all, you know, it's taking all of my knowledge and putting it, you know, really putting it to use. It's like, so my opponent puts 2 GLs down on defense. I've put my 1 on defense. It's like, right, I need my off meta counters to beat this. They put down Slacker and Ray, and it's like, yep, okay, fine. I've been working on this. I've practiced this. I've dealt with this, and you get the win, and that euphoric feeling of, it's like, wow, yes, I just, you know, I'm about to beat a 4 GL character. It's brilliant, you know. So I really enjoy the punching up aspect. I know a lot of people don't appreciate and enjoy the punching up aspect, but I really like it. And if I lose, it's like, well, I expected to lose. You know, I should not be beating someone with 4 GLs. I should not be beating someone with 6 GLs. But if they're going to take them all on offense, thank you very much. You know, I will put my B teams up against an opponent's B teams any day of the week. If they don't want to put their A teams on defense, you know, then that's their problem. That's not my, that's a them problem, not a me problem. So yeah, I really enjoyed that.
All right. Warrior, you're going to say something?
Yeah, I was just really quick going to say that I was nervous at first because I, you know, always get first in everything on arenas. And so it's like 1,000 crystals a day. And I'm like, I'm not going to have 1,000 crystals a day. So this is going to suck. But the truth is I don't pay attention to my crystals a whole lot. And I notice I get to 3, 4, 5, 6 pretty quick. And all of a sudden I'm like, wow, I'm spending 300 or 400 crystals every day minimum. And I'm still growing in crystals. So it's basically the same as it was before. The other thing is the stress level is actually less, in my opinion, because I don't care if I lose. If I drop a couple battles, it actually lowers me back down and makes my battles easier. So there was one battle I was going against. I just got frustrated on the first battle, and I just said, no, I'm not going to play this round. I'll lose. I'll take a loss on this round. You go up approximately for where I'm at, like 39. So I think it's basically 40 points up or 40 points down. And I'm over 4,000. So I'm like, you know what? As long as I'm in the top 200, I'm fine if I lose a couple battles here and there. And so sometimes I just not feeling it. And I'm like, I'm just not going to do this battle. And the other guy's like, what are you doing? Are you going to attack or what? It's like, no, not today. I'm just going to take the loss. I didn't feel like I could do that with the last Grand Arena. I felt like I had to be all in every time, 100% of the time. And now I don't feel that same stress. I got a daily income in crystals regardless. And I'm not going to fall out. I got to get all the way to 3,600 to lose Kyber 1. So that's never going to happen.
No, I'm the same boat. Yeah. It's like if I'm competitive, I try to win, but if I don't win, I'm like, I'm not stressed about it. It's like, okay, I went 2-1. I'm very happy with 2-1. You know, I got a bunch of crystals and and stuff like that, and I'm in no danger. I'm around 3,900 or whatever, so I'm just enjoying taking my time, and I see some comps, and I see iden on defense and play around with it, and it gets me motivated to go work on something. But if I win, I win. If I don't, then I don't. I still went 2-1 for the most part. I've got a winning record. Usually finish around 8-4. I'm like, okay, cool. And just have some fun with it. And we've actually done some silly stuff on stream that, that works. So there you go. Hope that answers your question. Darsign question for the panel. If you could choose only one, would you rather CG ease the Chirotech farming or ease the other gear from gear 12 to 13? No, my answer is the other gear. Chirotech is Chirotech, but god damn. We have got to address the gear 12 at least address the left side first. Something, because this double door action with you've got to hit these pieces to relic your characters, and then you have to salvage the same pieces to get them to higher relic. What? We need help there more than Chirotechs, because Chirotechs only blocks you one place, and from gear 12 to gear 13. Now some characters need it on the way up, but that one spot there, but these other
But
pieces,
that's a huge difference.
Yeah. Oh boy.
It's a huge difference. Until Chirotechs are needed for some type of relic material, the other piece is way more important. You don't need 260 Chirotechs for one R9.
Yeah. Oh god. So they've got to address this, guys, right? I'm not just
I mean, they don't have to.
They don't have to
but
do
it
a
would be
damn
nice.
thing.
It would be really nice if they did.
because they've done a great job from the, in my opinion, the stuff to get to gear 12, what they did with the car, with the droid collars and the stun guns and the stun cuffs. I mean, that stuff's been really nice to have. But then you get to gear 12, it's like, okay, I got to farm. Pretty much, you got to farm this stuff multiple times over on top of getting the character to relic. And then you're like, all right, now I got to go farm some more of this, or wait until I get the pieces to then when I get to especially once you start getting to relic 5, 6, 7, 8, that's when it really starts kicking in for some of those pieces that are needed, right? The Zimbittles and all that other crap. Jesus, it's horrible. It's horrible. Oh my God. I don't know. I think they need to. Well, if you had to pick one, I think we're all on the same thing. Gear 12, do something about that, or Chirotechs. How's the panel feel?
Gear 12.
Yeah, I'm Gear 12.
They've kind of they've eased things with the getting to 11. It's definitely easier to get to 11 now. That's without 100% absolutely. But now they need to clear the 11 to 12 hump. They really do.
All right.
Because you it's so easy to take one of the older characters. You could take them to gear 11 with the snap of your fingers, with a couple of exceptions that are extremely Carbanti heavy.
SRP.
Stunk.
Yeah.
But those are the exceptions to the rule. They're not the rule. So,
Captain Blackbeard, I see you. Har, he be in the chat. Har, pirate. All right. Question from Chris Benson: what is the best Mothma team?
Oh, you got Momo lead.
Well, okay, that granted, Momo. All right, so we start off with Momo. Good call.
you want Pow, Hoss Scout, Kira, and then
Biston.
You mean Kara?
Yeah, Kara's in there. Right?
Kara. Sorry, Kara.
Yeah, there's two
Kyle.
variations: one with Kyle and one without Kyle, and they're both
The
really
Kyle
solid.
one Rex, even at low stars.
Yeah. So it's Pal, Biston, Hoth Rebel Scout, and Kara if you don't have Kyle ready to go or unlocked, right? And then Kyle you just substitute in for
Biston.
Biston. I've seen some people take out Kara. There's a few variations on that, but that's pretty much the two best bets you're going to have. But even without Kyle in there, which I don't know why you wouldn't, the team's still really good. If you get the modding correctly on that, especially on Hoth Rebel Scout and Kara, get them really fast. I mean, that turn meter train gets going.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I mean, I use Wigs because I don't have Biston or Pal up just enough. And since I got JML, I already have Wigs at Relic 3. So Momo with Wigs, and then Kara and Kyle, and it's still Rex.
All right, let's see here. Dakota the Hunter question: do you think that because of the full 5 squad Omicrons, we will get a hybrid, possibly a Rhombus type where ships be first wall 3v3, second 2 walls, and 5v5 final wall.
That'd be interesting.
I don't know about that one. It'd be fun.
I mean, we do have a couple of teams that are specifically designed for 3v3.
Yeah. So you have a wall.
Well, I mean, they did that. They did the kit for Fennec Shand, and when they first brought the kit out for everybody's like, oh wow, she is going to be boss in 3v3, and then we never got a 3v3 to actually use Fennec Shand's awesome kit for 3v3 because everyone's like, this is going to be like the offensive team out there because the kit is specifically designed to be played with fewer characters, and then never got to use her in 3v3.
Well, then they tied her to the hip to Dad Bob Boba Fett with the Bounty Hunter's Resolve too, so they changed that up a little bit.
Well, I mean, they did what was it? It was Kenobi, Snips, and JKA are all tied together.
Yeah, we'll see. It's an interesting thought there, Dakota.
I think we'll see a new map. I think we'll stick at 5v5, but I do think we'll see a new map.
New map, okay.
I think having four in a zone is still a bit high, so I think we might even go to a 3v3 and a 2 ship zones and stuff. I think they'll spread it out a bit more, and then it won't be a case of I block one zone, I win. It'll be a case of I have to block 3 or 4 zones, if that makes more sense. Imagine moving from a 2x2 grid to a 3x3 grid.
Oh, that would be amazing.
I think that's
grid. That would be so cool.
I think and I think that's a very easy adjustment for them to make. Well, I say easy, I don't know, but I think that would be the change that would be brilliant.
I mean, if you hark back to the very, very first Grand Arenas, it was just 2 territories. It was a top and a bottom. That was it. It was top and a bottom. So they have changed the number of territories that you need to attack. They started off with a top and a bottom, and then they changed it up to 2 in the front and 2 at the back. So they have changed.
They can do it.
Yeah, a 3x3 grid.
They can do it. That is
that'd be
something
cool.
we know
grid
that they
would be
can
really
do
good.
because they've done it before.
And have it be so like a 3x3, right? So it's looks like a tic-tac-toe board, right?
Yep.
So if you clear if you cleared the front middle zone, it would open up the full back row because you can hit either zone, right? You can choose which zone you can go to. Or if you just cleared the top, you only get the top 2. Or if you cleared the bottom one, you get the bottom 2.
Oh,
right?
that'd be fun. Yeah, I'm okay with
and
that.
then you could make your pathway through the other team, and then that'd be interesting.
It'd be super fun. I need to patent that in some way. But no, 100%. That'd be the way to. That's a way to fix GAC for a very, very long time. Give us that variety. Give us a lot more tactics because you can't just block one zone. Warrior said earlier on, or Ranger said, if you clear that front bottom zone, you have the boss seat.
I like
and,
having
I think
the
and
it'd
boss.
don't-
be
and
more
don't-
fun.
And don't lock the zones for characters or ships. You can put any team anywhere.
Oh, that'd be kind of cool. Well,
So
good
if
suggestions.
somebody's like, I'm going to try to block the front, well, then I can get around you because I can go through characters and get behind your ships.
Yeah.
And certain people would put Executor on the front.
Oh, you're
bottom
damn right
wall.
they would. Yeah.
But that's where you get around.
Wah,
Yeah.
But that's where you can get around it if there's 3x3 grid. and
Yeah.
you can clear the middle one.
You can
then you can
tunnel.
open up the whole back, or the second back 3.
You get around the blockade. Ah, okay.
Yes.
Ship blockade.
I
you
kind
get
of like
around
that.
it, yeah.
I would totally go for that. 3v3 or 5v5.
All right. Next question from Playtark says, question, last year you predicted to be the year of the ship. Are you ready to make that same prediction for this year? Hell no, and Nev already did it, so there you go.
I did it.
Yeah, he did it earlier. Nia Venom 2, question, why should they get rid of 3v3? If there's one thing people complain about in this game, it's a variety of things to do. If you get rid of 3v3, you lessen the variety. No one's saying we want to get rid of 3v3. We're just saying that right now they're not going to be doing it until they can stabilize what they've got, and 2, they got to figure out what they're going to do because they're kind of going away even more from 3v3 with all these new characters and Omicrons and stuff like that.
I think their best option with that is how we have Arena and Ships Arena, have GAC and GAC V3, which is
Sure.
going to be like, so there's 2 arenas, so to
I
speak.
would love that
Both
option.
of them would have daily crystal options. They might have to reduce how many crystals you get per per section when they introduce it. So instead of like, 260 at my level, maybe I get 200 here and 200 here, which would be a 400 a day payout if I'm in the high end on both or whatever. But I think they have to treat it like its own entity, and then introduce it once the other one's stabilized and say, now we're bringing this one in. And good news, it's not going to affect this side at all. It's just going to be additional crystals for you. But they'll do that when they eliminate ships to transition the ship's crystals into something. They can create its own standalone 3v3, and you can suck on one and be great on the other, or great on both, or whatever, but there'll be crystals involved, so you'll probably want to do well. But guess what? People don't like ships. A lot of people don't participate in collecting those crystals. So there's some justification to be had with them doing that. I just think they're going to go away from those 2 arenas into 2 GACs that are standalone. But I would like to see new maps, period, on everything. Territory battles. I'd love to see to integrate new and different things for territory wars, have a new rotating map that they do, bring out, have 10 rotating maps that are different. I just think it gets very stale with the existing maps.
All right. OBZ says, question, follow up from earlier. Has anyone ran the actual Storm Zeta with Iden? Before I add, I want to make sure the 40% offense stacks each time Iden dies. I'd assume due to taunts, it won't work on defense.
I don't think it's how it actually works, though. It's the same moderness for the death mark.
Yeah.
That it doesn't register how many deaths, it registers how many players aren't on the field.
So there you go.
It's missing the word stacking from the thing. So yes, it will make them slightly more but in fact, in many ways, Iden might make it worse, because Iden's going to keep herself alive. I don't know, it's a weird one, but no, I don't think it's stacked.
Yeah, that Zeta's always been weird, or that part of it at least.
I don't have it. I'm not using it, so
why do you want a tank to deal damage?
Yeah. Never understood that one. Cannon Rob 1 question: what is your opinion of the best approach to get the best possible mods? There's only one true answer to this: consistently rolling mods. You got to just listen. I think we all suffer mod depression daily. We all the minutia, the mundaneness of mods is a thing, but it's just one of those things where you just have to do it consistently and be hyper focused. And it doesn't take that long. Once you get yourself in a good position, I mean, it only takes me 5-10 minutes at most total a day to do my mods. I get the mods that I'm working on. I slice, I get the energy once, twice a day. I check it. And then I'm in a different position. You'll be in different positions when you're doing mods. There's times when you're pulling mods because you need some additional sets like speed or offense, and you're just pulling mods and rolling them to see what they hit and if you're going to keep them or not. And then there's times like where I am right now, I've got an ass load of mods that are like that 14 to 18 range, ones at 19, where I'm like, I got to slice these, because if any of these, especially now that they've introduced 6E to 6A, my energy is best toward slicing materials and getting these mods sliced to see what's hitting 20 or not. And then after a couple more weeks of doing this, I'll see what I have left over and maybe pull some more offense and stuff like that. There's mods, if we get into like what's the best possible way to do mods, when you're early on, pull as many mods as you get your hands on, and you're looking for certain characteristics of the mods. Like speed mods always need speed. You're looking for offensive mods. At least have offense in the secondary when you're first starting. If you're going to get speed and offense, that's a bonus for that mod. Be aware that triangles and crosses are the toughest things to, one, get a good stat on and secondary stat, and two, getting a good roll on. Those are going to be the ones that are going to be the toughest ones you have to really focus in on. I don't know, what else do you guys think? Let's say you're a new player, strategy for mods, tips and tricks. Anybody have tips and tricks for our friend here, Cannon Rob?
Don't believe the lie that RNG is out to get you. The more consistent you mod or you slice mods, the better mods you will get. It just comes down to math.
Yeah. It's a numbers game.
Don't flood your inventory with mods. If you've got like 20 mods that are green and blue and they're showing double digit speed, be sure to roll those mods first, because you might roll some decent secondary stats on it, including speed, that makes you want to move it from a B character to an A character. You might be looking for some that sweet mod for an A character to go to gold so that you can 6E it, and you might, for all you could have an 11 or a 12 speed blue or green sat on a B or a C character that you didn't realize was sat there, so tick the box so that you can see all of the mods. So check the box so that you can see all assigned mods, and just sort them in speed, and just roll down, and every now and then it'll be like, oh my god, there's a green mod sat on POW. What the hell is that 12 speed doing that? You roll that, it gets more speed, you get it up to gold, and you're like, right, I want to 6E this and put it on a decent character. So I would say don't just be constantly rolling for, don't be constantly rolling the dice for more mods. Be sure to slice your greens and blues that are showing double-digit speeds, because you might find them more worthy of being 6E'd and put on a better character.
I would say figure out you got to find a routine and a set way of doing it, and like what you're looking for in the mods, what days you're farming mods, what days you're farming mats, and just it's a daily thing. It's a daily upkeep part of the game, and you're looking for your primary. If you have health primary, you're looking for or a health mod set with a health primary or health percentage secondary, or a defense with defense. You want to match your percentages and your primaries with some secondaries. You're not just speed is king, but you're not always looking for speed. Some characters don't need speed. Like you're looking for an offense that's with offense percent primaries or secondaries. Like Yoda or Grandmaster, he's an offense guy. So speed does nothing for him.
All right. Neo Venom, I got it. Quit spamming the damn chat, brother. I responded to you in Discord. I don't know what the hell that is. That is the craziest thing I've ever seen. So apparently Neo Venom's is that Fleet Note? I think it's hard to tell. I think this is mod battles. Did this get reset? That's horrible. Oh god. I don't know what that is. I don't have an answer for you, Neo Venom. That's the weirdest thing I've ever seen.
What is it?
So it's a picture. He says he's had these stages done for a long time. I think this is, I want to say these are mod battles. He's had them done for the longest time, but apparently they reset on him, so he has to do them again.
Oh, that is weird.
Yeah, it's like, that's not right. I think that's what I'm looking at. I mean, I can only go by what the picture's saying, but that is the strangest shit I've ever seen, if that's the case, man. I don't even know what to tell you. That's unbelievable.
Dust off those 7-star gear 8 jobs. Oh no, they changed it so that you could go in with any squad. Yeah, they changed it so you had to go in with that. You could go in with any squad, didn't they? Yeah.
Mod battles.
Not in my day. In my day, you had to have 7-star bloody jobs.
That is weird because it's and those are the ones for like the for the mod table for the slicing materials. That is so strange. I don't know why that happened to you, brother. Man, you get some bad luck, Neo Venom. That is just crazy. Darsan, what do you think the next 2 GLs will be? Would love the panel's opinion. I'll let everybody else answer this. What do you think the next GLs will be?
I'm still on board for Leia Jabba.
Leia Jabba? Okay, we have a Leia Jabba on the table.
2 most accessible right now for what they're doing.
Jabba comes in, covers the entire screen.
Leia Endor, specifically with the Ewoks being the requirement, and Jabba with all the new stuff.
He said Ewoks.
So I agree.
Leia GL will be 2023.
Could be.
Grand Inquisitor is either going to be a legendary or a GL this year.
He's definitely not a GL.
No.
He got killed by Kanan Jarrus. That's a really low bar.
I would disagree. Kanan was one of the more, if not one of the best Jedi ever.
He was a Padawan at the time.
His self-sacrifice
Oh my God,
But his
that
history,
scene.
who he was
Oh.
trained by, he was trained by one of the best.
I
Jedi
know.
ever
Thank
in
God for
existence.
Bad Batch. Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh, come
So,
on. You
and
know
his, the way
that
he
was
went out is
unbelievable.
epic. I mean, his sacrifice.
Yeah,
at the
that,
end
that
is
was
one of the best
most
scenes.
epic of ways to yeah, without a doubt.
He went out
One
like
of
a
the things that make
baller,
Rebels
man.
great.
I mean,
And-
he's
and-
so powerful in protecting everyone that he ends up restoring his own sight through the Force. Come on, you know
Yeah.
what I mean?
I was in bits.
He's
and
a
I
very
hadn't
cool
cried
character,
at
but
Star Wars since
he's not like
Vector Prime.
Obi-Wan or Sith Eternal.
That's true. That's true. I can see that argument too.
I'm on board for Master Grogu.
Master
Grogu.
Grogu.
I want like old Master Grogu with full
Old Master
Beskar armor and the
Grogu.
dark saber.
That's fantastic. Hey, Grogu, do the hand wavy thing with the lightsaber.
It's so funny.
Oh my God. Anybody else? Oh my God. I think we've got enough on the board. Jesus. Kazugaga, too easy question. Warrior, when will the best characters in game get Omicrons, aka Eth Koth and Mob Enforcer?
That's a good question.
I think you need a secret knife attack there, Kazugaga.
I think Cup is definitely doing Omicron.
Oh my God.
They're able to add insane abilities to, so everybody you gotta have this character, and in doing so, they force everyone to invest in the
Yeah.
trashiest trash character.
Oh, no.
I see them doing that.
Synergizes with trash.
Because it used to be, yeah, I know. It used to be that they'd have a Galactic Legend, and then you had to do trash to get the Galactic
Yeah.
Legend. But now, all they got to do is pop a
Omicron.
on it, and people are like, "Oh my God, that's amazing! I want that." So then,
Synergizes with Ugnaughts.
yeah. So I think that's their way to pulling every character that's down in the dumps up is an Omicron. And they're busting them out, a couple of weeks. Some weeks there's 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Other weeks there's only 1. But there's so many now in the game that, there's like 4 or 5 in the rebels, just regular rebels to make them good. And it's like, how are you ever going to do that whole team? I bet it's amazing, that whole team with all the Omicrons they
and
brought
stuff,
out
yeah.
on Leia and Stormtrooper Han. and Akbar.
I've got the Omicron on Leia. I lost a bet, so I had to Omicron Leia. So I've taken C-3PO out of my CLS team.
How good is
and
it?
I've put Leia in that. I cannot wait to see what that is like on offense. I'm really looking forward to seeing what that is like on offense.
All right.
Because it's a decent Omicron.
Oh, yes. Dr. Phil, good question. Whether you're pro 3v3 or 5v5, can we all agree? I blame Finn. Yeah, I can get on board with that. Yeah, Finn.
I can get behind that.
Yeah, I think you look at the whole panel knew immediately. Yep, I blame Finn.
It's unanimous.
Yeah. Beskar Bandito, what's up, Holmes? Says question: does this panel see ships getting Omicrons in the future? And if they do, will it be on materials or the same ones used for tunes? That's a great question. I don't know. Ship Omicrons.
They've typically done their own materials for ships, so
True.
I would like to think that they wouldn't cross it, but who knows?
Yeah.
Ships still also seem super underdeveloped at Omicrons.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think they'll add Omicrons to GAC rewards before they do anything with ships. I think there would need to be more plentiful because they give Zetas and Omegas as rewards for GAC. Why not Omicrons?
Yeah. I see them adding ship mods before they do ship Omnis.
Yeah, I agree.
I think they'd love to fix ships, but I don't think they're going to. So no, I don't think ships will get Omicrons. I think they're stuck where they are, and I think when they put the investment into characters, they get much more bang for their buck. Therefore, why ever bother with all the coding of Omicrons and all the stuff? They haven't even added. I'm not going to say ship loadouts. I just said ship loadouts. I apologize, everyone.
We want them.
But well, I know, but if they haven't got that far as a quality of life update after all this,
Yeah, agreed.
they aren't coding anything else into ships. It's stuck where it is, and I don't think we'll see. And that's why I would love them to find a way about the coin flip, but again, I don't think they can or will. It's just not an area they're working on.
All right. Ancient Farmer, this is a quick one. Is Mary Jade still viable and worth farming? Hell yes, she is. She's one of the top
She's not
ones.
going anywhere.
Simp harder.
God damn, please.
My
She's
God, simp harder.
gross. Even at 3 stars, gear 11, that young lady is amazing.
The Ray Killer,
Yeah.
Ray Killer on her own.
Yep.
You know, just yeah.
Yeah, she's
Regular Roller
gross.
Roach.
She's the top of the list for me for the 4 characters for Starkiller. She is unbelievably good. God damn.
She's got that stacking buff.
Oh,
That
so
you know,
good.
you like you get like 3 or 4 minutes into a match, and she's got like double digits of that stack. So
Oh, she's slaying the
you can
pain.
you can be in there with a you could have her in a team that's going up against a GL and watch the rest of the team just get wiped out, and she's still there with full health and protection, and then she just oh god,
She's
it's
unbelievable.
great. I've got mine modded for offense. I mean, she's offense, but I've got her at 330 as well. I've got a so with that buff that stacks, she's got 9k damage. So she's hitting 50, 60 after about 3 minutes, 3 to 4 minutes. She's hitting like 50, 60, 70k damage. It's just
She's
bonkers.
unreal.
And she's only relic 5. It's nuts. She's just so good.
Ray Rock question: it's been almost 6 months since the introduction of Relic 9 mats. Only top end guilds can get more than one CPU, aka Droid Brain, while sub 320 guilds can't get them. Will CG change it soon? No idea. I think they should. I mean, but really the problem with Relic 9 mats is eventually you'll get those right side ones, but then you need the other piece. And
Yeah.
if you think the Gear 12 stuff for Relic is bad and salvage, wait till you have to deal with that. And you're like, furnaces? Hell no! I'm not sacrificing furnaces for this piece.
The whole thing with that is they look at like, I hate the word, but like penetration to determine who's got them, how
Right.
many are out there, all of that. They have these reports, and once it passes a certain level of penetration, they just throw them into cards and say, here, buy them, and
Yep.
it's okay. And they put them in daily shipments, and they put them in, but it takes time. They want to have it exclusive at first, and then they'll put it behind a paywall, so that way people will be forced to spend money to accelerate that, and everybody will want to. So there'll be all those tanks they want to do. So that's what they'll do. But they're waiting. They always wait for a certain level where the report finally shows that, like, okay, there's 20 plus gear, Relic 9s on all these top 12 teams or whatever. So I think at this point we can kind of open it up, but they wait at first to kind of keep it exclusive.
Yeah.
And I don't do TW, so hence I don't have any R9. There's not a chance of me ever getting them. Yeah, so it's not even in my game. So I hope CGO add R9 to my game at some point soon, but at the moment, no R9 because no TW. So yeah,
All right.
shouldn't only be in one place. It should at least be in a different place, in a different game mode somewhere.
Yeah.
Oh, typically they always do that eventually. They'll start off in one place and then it'll make its way around. It's not gonna it won't just stay there forever.
Yep, agree. All right, and then last question we're going to do for the day is Dylan Twilight. Question: what's the best team with Jedi Luke leader? I'm nowhere near having Jedi Revan or Jedi Master Luke. Pretty much Jedi Luke. So the thing is, Jedi Luke lead, he's really good in a lot of places. You just need a fast character with him because he's slow as dirt. And you should have him slow as dirt because you should be all offense. So you want like a Hermit Yoda with him so you can, you can solo teams with those two. It's like, oh, First Order. I don't care that Hux is there. One shot, Gassan chopping, full.
Gassan chop.
I mean, it's unbelievable how much shit those two little Luke and Yoda can go in there and just solo. It's unreal. I mean, and Yoda can get really fast and outspeed a lot of teams. So you just like, all right, let me just start off here. Use the fourth ability leadership buff, and you're off to the races. He counters. He just nukes them. So on top of that,
if you can get both, like if you don't have Jedi Revan, get both Yodas in that team. That team is
oh
bonkers.
god, oh it's grossy.
You'll get back around to Heroes Arise in like 2 turns with Grandmaster Yoda taking 4 in a row.
Oh, it's sick. So sick.
It's a very fun team if you can build it.
But build up your Jedi Revan because the Jedi Revan Jedi Luke counter to SLKR is still legit. It still is. It still works quite well. So I mean that's a very legitimate strategy. But Jedi Luke lead, you'll see a lot of it used. I mean, I use Jedi Luke lead in TB. And you can run it with multiple different Jedi teams. As long as you time it to where you get that last call of assist with the leadership at the beginning and save a stun, each round you start off with that stun, and it's sick. And once you get masters trained on everybody, it gets light side TB. You'll be fine. Trust me. You don't even need Jedi.
And it makes the assault, but the challenge tiers of the assault battles
Oh,
where
yeah.
Jedi are required, much easier as well.
You go
if you're
first.
stuck on like just the mythic tier, you know, and you're crying because you're looking at it and you're like, oh, look at all those lovely challenges, tier 1 and tier 2. Yeah, once you get the JKL, yeah, the tier 1 and tier 2 definitely. Yeah,
Yeah.
You know, you need a little more oomph to do 3, but just with JKL, when I got JKL, I didn't have any GLs. Like, I just breezed through tier 1 and tier 2 of the challenge, and it's like, wow, look at all these rewards just for having JKL. It's awesome. It's so good. You get all that slice of material, and you get all that relic material, and you're like, give me another assault battle where I need Jedi, because yeah, it's a good one, definitely.
Oh yeah, it's so good. There's a lot of uses for it. So all right, we're gonna end it here, mainly because it's we only usually go about 2 hours and let these folks go do their other stuff for the day. So make sure you hit the thumbs up, subscribe. If we didn't get your question, go back and watch the stream. We probably did answer your questions with someone else asking the question you're probably thinking of, and if not, then you can always hit me up directly in Discord. It's linked in the description. I'm more than welcome to take any happy to take questions. I may not respond right away, but I will respond, and these other great content creators will do the same. If you message them, give them some time. They're busy, real life things, but this is what we do. It's what we do for the community, is try to help other players and get the questions answered that you might have. So, but make sure you hit the thumbs up, subscribe for our channel. That goes without saying, but now we're going to let these awesome and amazing folks pimp their stuff. Please do me a favor to say thank you for being here. Just go check out some of their content, show them some love. They come here on a Saturday morning or Saturday afternoon, taking time from their busy schedule to sit here and answer your questions as best they can. So that's a great way to show them some support. It's just go watch the videos and hit a thumbs up or anything like that, whether it's YouTube or Twitch. So it's a great way to give them some love back. So let's start with the Island Man himself, Mr. Aldis.
Aldous Sandfly, I stream on Twitch on Welcome to Sandflies. I'll be going live in about 10 to 15 minutes with the legend that is known as Gridan, who will be scouting out my GAC defense from the previous rounds and telling me what I'm doing wrong. Oh. So if anyone wants to carry on that, I'll be on Twitch at Welcome to Sandflies. And yeah, a couple of hours and learn something.
You said Grid, right? He's going to be conscious after the the session last night? I mean, I'm barely alive right now, man.
Wasn't he supposed to be dead?
Grid has messaged me. No, he messaged me 5 times. He only stopped streaming about 4 or 5 hours ago. So yeah, he is alive. He is alive. But yeah, hopefully.
Jesus. All right, Warrior. Where can folks check you out at, my man?
You can find me on at Warrior Presents on YouTube, Warrior Presents on Twitch, and you can also find me on Twitter at Warrior Present. I'm on there daily, updating things in the game.
Outstanding. Check it out, please. The Nev.
You can find me on Twitch and YouTube, Escape Podcast. This weekend we've got the GA Center, where we'll be reading out all of the reports from the content creators that you can't watch because it's just not physically possible to watch every single GAC of every single content creator. So
I tried. You can't.
We've tried. It's just not physically possible. So you come and watch me and Ranger read the reports of the content creators you did not get the opportunity to watch, but you want to know how they did. So and then GAC obviously will be kicking off next week, hopefully. So
yeah, and we'll get back to a normal schedule Thursday. If this is the end of the month report, it just takes longer to get. Because someone asked me that the other day. It's like, well, it's just a scrape. We there's a bunch of information we pull from that, but we don't get it as quickly as the weekly one. The monthly one, that last one takes a little bit longer. So we had to push back. A little bit longer. A little bit. Just teeny tiny. Calvin, awesome. Where can folks check you out at?
Yeah, I'm at Calvin_awesome on Twitch. I stream my GACs every Wednesday and Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, as well as Saturday on 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We don't have it today because we're in the off week, but we'll be back on Wednesday.
There you go. Very nice. Country Viking, why don't you tell folks where they can check you out there, buddy?
Yeah, so it's Big Country Mags on Twitch. No space in the name. It's all one word.
You don't like spaces around here, Dave.
Yeah, it's a space on here, but yeah, there's no space in Twitch.
All right. As I said, please go check out these awesome and amazing folks. We can get your questions fine. You can hit me up directly or hit any of these guys up directly, but that's what we do for the community. And if you like the content, as I said, hit the thumbs up, subscribe, all that good stuff. Now, I'll be back tonight on Twitch, but not for SWGOH. I'll be doing Dungeons and Dragons. So if you are a D&D kind of lover, you can come check out our game we run. It's a 5th edition Wildmount campaign that we're doing over on Twitch. And then tomorrow you can see me and the Nav over on the Escape Pod cast doing the GA Center. And then Monday I will be back. Monday through Friday we stream the lunch stream, and that runs usually a couple hours every day. And then you can also check me out the Wednesday night show, which we're coming up on 300. I got to figure out what the hell we're going to do for that. I have no idea. It hasn't registered yet. And then Jedi Academy on Saturdays. And then on top of that, I'm like on every show. Like I was pretty much on everyone's show this week. So you can check me out everywhere on the community. So everyone have a great rest of your day. Be safe. Look out for one another. We love you guys. And on behalf of the Academy, be cool. And we will talk